Hello beautiful people, it's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video and it's titled Prince William Left Furious with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Rude Catherine Cancer Card. Okay, we're going to be checking this video together. Let's check it out.
Prince William is reportedly furious after a perceived slight from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, sources have claimed, adding yet another chapter to the ongoing tensions between the royal brothers. According to insiders, the Princess of Wales took offence at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex for referring to his wife as Kate rather than Catherine in a get well soon message following her recent cancer diagnosis.
I underwent major abdominal surgery in London, and at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present.
Friends of the royal couple revealed that this seemingly small detail struck a deep nerve with William, who felt that the use of the name Kate was not just casual, but a deliberate slight. The insiders shared that William's frustration stemmed from the fact that Catherine is the name she prefers and the one she uses in her official and personal interactions. It's how she introduces herself and is the name that her close friends, family, and most importantly Prince William himself use when referring to her. Although the Princess of Wales was widely known as Kate during her school and university years, she made a conscious decision to transition to her full name, Catherine, as she stepped into royal life, particularly after marrying Prince William. This isn't just a matter of personal preference, it's also about respecting the identity she has chosen as part of her role within the royal family.
Exactly what I was about to say, respect. It is not that big of a deal, it's just about respect. Because if you respect the crown, respect the royal family, then you respect the people involved and respect the people that have devoted their time to serve. It's about respect. Thank you for pointing that out, sir.
Also about respecting the identity she has chosen as part of her role within the royal family. Given this, William's friends believe that Harry and Meghan's decision to use the name Kate in their public statement was not just a minor oversight, but an entirely unnecessary and deliberate irritation. The statement in question, released by the Sussexes in March 2024 after the Princess of Wales publicly announced her cancer diagnosis, read, "We wish health and healing for Kate and the family and hope they are able to do so privately and in peace." On the surface, the message seems supportive and kind. However, the use of the name Kate has been interpreted by those close to William as a subtle but pointed jab during an already challenging time for the prince and his family. One friend of the prince and the Princess of Wales remarked, "The fact that Harry and Meghan were unable to bring themselves to use her chosen name, even when they were sending her a get well soon message after a cancer diagnosis, was noted. William takes offence at people calling Catherine Kate because she is asked to be known as Catherine. It's a fairly simple wish to respect. I'm sure Meghan wouldn't like it if William started publicly calling her Meghan Markle." This friend further explained that while this issue might seem trivial to outsiders, it's one of those small but significant details that pushes William's buttons. And during a sensitive period, as his wife battles cancer, this particular irritation seemed especially unnecessary and perhaps even calculated. The insider also speculated whether the private card sent by Harry and Meghan began with "Dear Kate," a detail that would have likely further aggravated William. Another friend of the couple echoed these sentiments, stating, "No one's saying it's responsible for all the trouble, but deliberately calling someone by a name they don't like is just rude. If Harry and Meghan were serious about healing their issue, a good first step would be to call her Catherine."
Yes.
The reaction from William and those close to him might explain why the Prince and Princess of Wales did not publicly respond to the Sussexes' well wishes. The ongoing
Aside calling her Catherine, what happened to the title Princess Catherine? Because she's still a working royal. She's not stepped down. She did not decide not to do her duties. It just she's battling health issues, but she's still present, very much present. So how about Princess Catherine? What happens to that? Respecting that. Or let me know what you think, because obviously lots of people think about names or naming people and be like, okay, it's not a big deal. For me, my name is not a big deal. However, people want to address me. My name is Cinderella. Sometimes, but I still go by Cindy. Sometimes people call me Roma or call me Cinda, regardless. Even those that I'm not familiar with, they call me by my short name, or sometimes some people call me by my surname or by my last name. I don't take offense because I mean it is preference, but obviously if people prefer a certain name or to be called by a certain name, I think it's just better to respect them or respect their wishes. Or what do you think? Do you think people should make a big of a deal when it comes to naming or their names and all of that? Because lots of people like go overboard when it comes to their name. But to their name. I really love your thoughts on that. But for me, I always look at it from this angle, in the sense that if somebody is working or people, I think name is just a sign of respect. So if somebody have decided this is the name they want to go by and all of that, just respect their wishes. That is not a big deal. But let me know what your thoughts about regarding this, because people have different thoughts and opinion regarding conversations like this.
Tension between the two couples has been widely reported, with many royal observers pointing to incidents like this as evidence of a deep rift that still exists. Now, while some may view this as a minor issue, it does highlight the complexities and sensitivities involved in royal relationships, particularly when personal preferences are overlooked in the public eye. This also comes after the Sussexes have been criticised for their Colombia trip, with Angela Levin revealing her thoughts to GB News on the matter.
Angela, of course, you have had a nice history with Prince Harry, at least. You wrote his biography and so on and so on. What do you make of this tour in Colombia? What's it all about, really? It's all a bit strange, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a nonsense. I think they're playing royals. I think it's extremely rude, and I think that the king should now do something about it, particularly that Harry was told to apologise for slaves. Now, he can't get mixed up in all that. It's absolutely not. Yeah. They've gone there not representing anybody, with no power. They like to be thought of as just sort of global brand. That's what they call themselves. So
wow.
it's just nonsense.
Who's asked them to apologise for slavery? Local in Colombia?
The vice president took Harry to one side and asked him if he will really do that.
I mean, that's extraordinary.
No, he can't. You know, well, she's very keen on reparation of slaves, and she saw Meghan on the Netflix, a 6-hour Netflix where you could fall asleep 10,000 times, and was full of untruths. And she said, we share the same ideals and goals. So she thinks that she's got people there that will really help the slaves of 300-400 years ago. Now, this is very, very dangerous, because they mustn't start getting their feet on this, and it's just not allowed. You just can't do it. And so I think they've really got to do something very much about it. And it's quite interesting that the Vice President didn't think very much about the Netflix thing, where Meghan did this terrible curtsy, mimicked that right out,
yes,
and lost them a lot of supporters, and said with a squeaky voice, "Hello, Your Majesty."
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible. But this time she taught 2 little girls how to curtsy to her. Now, the hypocrisy is beyond anything you can think of. The whole thing is hypocritical, because he's extremely worried about his family, very anxious, won't bring them to the UK, but he will take them to away from, in a very dangerous country where they had 3,000 police looking after them and 14 cars to make sure they weren't damaged in any way.
What do you think the King's thinking about all this? He's probably watching it from, you know, from
well, I
back
think
home.
he's very busy with looking after himself and doing all the work he has. I know they don't look at these things straight away. The A's look at it and then they discuss it. There is going to be a discussion, though, in Scotland about things, about the royal family, and I think that I do hope they'll do something about Harry and Meghan, because each time you think they've been doing something terrible, they do something worse. This is worse than when they were in Africa, and you can't actually see them going through and pretending they are royal, all the things that they did were what Meghan wanted. She had a list and it was approved of. So all this nonsense that they did, which is actually, I can do it better than anybody else in the royal family.
Yeah. What would happen if Harry or Meghan did go rogue or roguer?
They already are rogue.
Exactly. If they really pushed the boat out and said, do you know what, I apologise. If Harry said, I apologise for my family's links to slavery, where would that leave the king, the monarchy?
Well, it's a very difficult position, isn't it? You then say, but they have no power, they have no position. Harry has stepped down from the royal family in 2020. Yes, that's right. And so therefore you can't listen to them. But you can then have to have this argument where they say, yes, but he promised, he did say, he's your son. You know, it's very tricky. I think it's very hot tricky and dangerous.
And just briefly talking about the king, he is in, well, he's in a massive row, I guess, with his brother Prince Andrew, who's refusing to...
Which is absolutely true, because this is dangerous with what they are going, because people will look at them and say, okay, yeah, he's a king's son. And people will not mind the fact that, okay, he may or may not be a working royal, but the fact that he still bears the title of a prince, of a duke, he's still the prince's son, he's still the king's son. It's a tricky one. And this is just making the royal family look like a joke. I don't know what anybody's going to be thinking, but what do you think? Because obviously, people would say it's hard to separate father and son from the father and son being the king, or being King Charles, the king, and Prince Harry, who is a prince. So, I mean, they might still have that relationship or so. Because all this trip, all this tour doesn't even make sense. What do you think? It doesn't. It's rubbing off of the royal family doing their jobs and all of that, telling them, okay, they can still do the job better, even without wanting to do the job, but they are doing the job on their own term. Or are they trying to modernize it? Because something is not right somewhere. But obviously, Angela is right on this. It's a dangerous game that they're playing. What do you think? Because obviously, something is not even making sense. You, 1 minute, you be like, okay, let's see how he's going to play or how it's going to go. Then they do something, and you wonder, like, wait, are they really serious? Are they for real? Do they even know what they are doing? Because if they were working royals, then they know who to talk to, what to say, what to do, who to meet, the kind of conversations to be held, and what will be discussed, what should not be discussed, what will be brought to the royal palace and up for discussion and all of that. I mean, these are things that people would know. You don't have to be a working royal for you to know some things or to organize or plan some things. We all know that even us as regular human beings, if we're going to someplace new or someplace, let's say for people who have panel discussion and all of that, they know the time there'll be like an outline or outlayer on on how things are supposed to go, like pre-planned and all of that, be organized. Wow, it doesn't even make sense. What do you think? Because obviously, yeah, they want it is for their brand image, make them look good, and all of that. We get all the fanciness, but I mean, this is also the royal family we're talking about being involved in this. If they want to be working royals, then let them go ahead and say, oh, they want to be working royals. It's that simple. But not up and choose and decide when to. Because if you resigned from your place of work, but you still pretend to go back to your place of work and expect to get paid, does it work? Does it work when you don't even have a confirmation letter? You don't have any letter of any sort that you're still there, you resigned. Let me know what your thoughts are regarding this. I would really love your honest contribution and opinion regarding this. You can share all the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.